This is John Walton, and you're listening to the Power Play Point podcast with the Blue Liner on point and Anna Knox. Here's Wilson, and on the right circle, he scores!
Rebound loose, wild scramble in front, score! Ovechkin with a buzzer beater! It'll count!
And a hat trick tonight, number 21,
Spectacular! Braden Holtby!
Hello, welcome once again to the Power Play Point podcast. This is your host, the Blue Liner on Point, talking to you live to tape from an about to be rained on and stormed on, tornadoed on, whatever this storm is supposed to do to us here in the DMV and the Glen Burnie area and all points south and north and God knows where else. Wow, I'm looking at that weather map, and Anne Arundel County, Maryland, which is where I live, is right smack in the middle of a big orange spot, and don't make me feel good because even though we're having spring break at my school, I got to go into work and take care of a few things. So I'm not liking my chances, but we'll see. The Mermaid is on birthday break, so she will be missed. In her place is the very able, very intelligent, very capable, number crunching wonderkind from the Bay Area originally, Miss Jin-dependent herself, Jini Clausen.
Hello,
Jini,
hello.
Jini, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm reeling from all this insane weather this week. I'm ready for a little bit of moderation instead of, 87 one day and snow the next. But at least I'm inside and cozy right now.
So you're living in Arlington or Fairfax County?
I'm in Fairfax County.
Okay. So yeah, you'll probably get a taste of whatever this is that's coming at us tomorrow.
I usually get like what Maryland gets depending on where, either the next day or a couple hours later.
Yeah, I kind of figured. But yeah, weather tends to move west to east, so you'll get it first, and then it hits us, and then it tends to hang around like it always does, and yeah, so looking forward to that. But another thing that's got us a bit discombobulated is our hockey team and the way they've been playing, and well, the roller coaster continues. It's worse than a broken down ride at King's Dominion, and if you're truly from the DMV, you'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Oh, while I'm thinking of it, real quick. So, Jini, you're of course originally from the Bay Area. I'm going to need, if you can think of it now, maybe later, I'm going to need the name of, I don't know if you keep up with any of them, but the name of a decent San Jose Sharks podcast. I know they're your second team, because I'd like to contact them sometime in the future and do a guest spot the next time I do a live stream.
Okay.
So I'm hoping you got something like that going.
I
information.
don't listen to any Sharks podcasts regularly, but I definitely have a few Sharks friends, and I'll ask if they know of any good ones.
Very cool. Okay, awesome. All right, so let's go ahead. Oh, before we do, a couple of announcements. Almost forgot. One quick personal one. Sorry, shameless plug here. I must honor my alma mater. Yes, I am a graduate of the University of Maryland at Baltimore County in Catonsville, Maryland. I graduated there, not with any honors, but I made it out with a BA in history. Ha ha ha! So many years ago, not a BS, but a BA. So no, I'm not that kind of Yeah. Anyway, but I must honor them as they are the winners of the America East tournament, and they, by virtue of that, have an automatic bid to March Madness, the bracket of 68, coming in about a week or so. Of course, remember the magical year 2018 where they made it and pulled off the upset in the first round. So hoping for a repeat, but go Dogs. God bless you all, and hoping for some sort of great performance. Gotta honor the old alma mater. Love you guys. Thanks for giving us another thrill all these years later. And of course, there was the announcement earlier today as we record this. It is 10 till 7 p.m. Eastern time on the Ides of March the 15th. Gotta love those memes with the Little Caesars pizza box with the knife sticking out of it. If you know your history like I do, then you know what that means. But anyway, Cole Hudson signed on the dotted line, getting just south of $1 million for salary. So he is now signed to an official ELC. That's the entry level contract. Nothing as far as an actual jersey number just yet. I think those details will be filled in later on during the week. I expect to see him at full practice during these days, and most likely, although again nothing official, pardon me, most likely playing in making his debut this week. Wednesday is their next game at home at Cap One, so hopefully we'll be seeing him then. Been waiting for him. I think first probably the most anticipated rookie since Ryan Leonard last year. So hopefully he gets in there and does his thing, makes a good showing. So want to get those two announcements out of the way. And now let us go into the actual games on the ice. The first one took place Monday night, this past Monday night at Cap One, as the beginning of the homestand. Was it the beginning? Yes, the beginning of the home. A quick home game, and then a quick road trip, and then back again to start a 4-game homestand yesterday. But the first game this week was Monday night against the Calgary Flames, who are not quite scraping bottom over in the West, but
I mean, they're pretty darn close. They're 31 in the league right now, so
yeah. They aren't doing too well themselves, let's just say. So that's not an easy win, but not a team to overlook for sure. But figured this would be at the end of it all 2 points, and it was, but it didn't come easy.
no.
All right. Well, all right. So let's go over the particulars. It started well enough. Hendrix Lapierre, who seems to love playing against this team, his third of the season, second goal against Calgary, Fedavati, and Declan Chisholm, who always seems to come up with key assists. That's why I like him. 2:46 into the first, snapshot by Lapierre over the shoulder of, was it Dustin Wolf? No, it wasn't Dustin Wolf. I forget who the goalie was in this game. Devin Cooley.
Cooley, yeah.
Yeah, Devin Cooley. Who I think tweaked something. I thought they showed him tweaking something in the beginning, so he didn't look all that comfortable, but he gutted it out. But yeah, first shot went past him at 2:46, and Caps were off to the races. So let's see, 9:13, Tom Wilson. That was for Anna, his 24th, ties for the team lead. Lexic Protas and Dylan Strome, the assists there. 9-13. Caps have a 2-0 lead. And then Connor McMichael gets on the board 8 minutes later at 17:43, 8.5 minutes later, almost exactly. Sortif and Beauvillier, Justin Sortif and Anthony Beauvillier, the helpers there. That third line coming through. So Caps built up a nice big 3-0 lead, and used to be 2-0. That was the dangerous lead. Oh boy, now it's
And
well with
then
the
period 2.
and that period 2 exclamation point in ad infinitum frowny face emoji. Good God. Caps played well enough, kept the Flames off the board all the way up until about 16 minutes in, 16:08 to be exact. Matvel Grydin, his fourth, Oli Mata, and Ryan Strome. Yes,
Rude.
that is Dylan's brother, who wasn't even supposed to be there. And then Anaheim decided to turn around and trade him. 10 minutes after they got John Carlson. I thought that was kind of funny. John Carlson, oh, I got another Strome brother to have fun with here. And then 10 minutes later, they trade him.
Right.
So 3-1 Caps. And then 91 seconds later, Caps get a power play. Well, usually that means, okay, 2 minutes of play with the puck, hope it goes in, and it doesn't go in. Unless Ryan Leonard's shooting. Well, that didn't happen. Okay, you know what did happen? Not one, but 2 shorthanded goals.
That was so incredibly insane and frustrating.
If that did not give you the stabby barf pains as a Caps fan, nothing will. Good Lord Almighty. Blake Coleman, his 15th. He's one of those guys always does well against the Caps. The shorthanded goal. Michael Backlund, the primary assist, and oh, looky there, a Kuznetsov, not that Kuznetsov, Jan Kuznetsov, the secondary assist there. 17:39. Flames pull within one. Same power play. Yes, same power play. And this was this the one where Leonard was breaking out of the zone no. It was Chikrin breaking out of the zone. He tried to pass to Leonard, and there was a big miscommunication, and it led to a giveaway. I'm going to go ahead and call it up. I think this was the one. I'm pretty sure this was the one. Yegor Sharangovich, another one of those guys that loves playing against the Caps. Stop me if you've heard that before. Puts this one away. Yes, this was the one. This was the one. So yes, he's exiting the zone, drops it off for Leonard, who's about 10 feet away, and yeah, Sharangovich left all alone in front of the net, puts it away after getting the pass from
Farabee.
Farabee, yes, Joel Farabee. For his 13th at 18:55. So guess what? All that hard work, all that
actual offense that we had.
All that offense, and
Just
what do I
to
have
tie it
to
up.
show for it? Yeah, and no, yeah. Now it's a tie game going into the third period, and I don't know who was responsible for it, whether it was internal or from the coaching staff, but I am willing to bet there was some sort of edition of the Come to Jesus talk, probably at a very high volume in that locker room, because after a few minutes of puttering around, the Caps put on a pretty good show. 1, 2, 3, 4 goals to run away with it.
Which were unassisted, which is crazy.
Yeah. First 2 of the period unassisted. And the first one of the period was on a power play. Lo and behold, Connor.
The panic that I had when we got another power play after those two shorthanded goals, I was like, please no. Please no.
Yeah, and I happened to be on Sports on the Hill at the time, and I think I had just finished with a 2-minute rant about how lifeless they had played and how they were being dog walked by a team that had nothing to play for, and how ashamed they should be. And then 2 minutes later, they get this, and this. Hey, this is. I'm like that dog in that meme. This is fine.
Yeah.
4-3 at 10:52 on the power play. Yeah, surprisingly, no help. I think it was a pick play, if I remember right. I love when he does that. I just wish he'd get a chance to do it more often. I get that he's had a down year. I'm hoping for a rebound for him, but
Yeah.
Connor McMichael hits the double digits this year, thank goodness, to put the Caps up. This, of course, would be the winning goal. And then 23 seconds later, Justin Sordiff crashes the net and puts his 13th away. Ties for the team rookie lead. 5-3 Caps at 11:15. Caps would basically play keep away and get their shots in when they could. This is probably top 3 best periods of the year for the Caps as far as both offense and defense. If they could somehow have bottled this 20 minutes and made copies of it somehow, maybe they'd be in a better position. But they not only got all the goals, they limited the Flames to 5 shots. Flames were, they were. They were a wounded animal this whole period, except not as dangerous. Very, very non-effective against a tightening Caps defense. 17-14, Ethan Frank, who'd been a dog with a bone the whole period, along with somebody else, gets an empty netter at 17-14. Duhaime and LaPierre, his second point of the night. That was the stake in the heart. And then the guy who was hunting for a goal all period to make up for that muffed play in the second, Ryan Leonard, his 12th. Sordiff actually has the rookie lead on the team. So Ryan Leonard, his 12th. Sordiff on the helper, on that one. And yes, that was with it 16 seconds left. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. Yet another magical McNugget minute goal. So if that was your proclivity, then I hope you enjoyed from ordering from the app from good old Mickey D's the next day. 7-3 win for our Caps. Not even 30 shots, but I'll take it. Decent night at the faceoff dot. 1 for 3 on the power play. Flames surprisingly didn't get a power play, which might have been a good thing.
They didn't need one. They just scored on ours.
They didn't need one. They just needed us to go on the power play more often. Yeah.
This was such a bizarre game obviously the way the scoring happened, but like one side of the arena saw every single goal. That other net got nothing. I just find that so funny.
Yeah, that's what C4 was saying, and I think she was at the game. Yeah, she was at this game. So that's what she was saying, and it was the opposite end from where she was sitting. Funny enough, but yeah, that's one of those odd games. I think that there was a game against New Jersey last year or the year before that was just like that, where all the goals were at one end, and it was like 10 or 11 goals.
Right, like one abused net and one neglected net.
Yeah, well, there'd be another game with abused net, but in a different fashion. We'll get to that later. But Caps would start the week off with not exactly a great win, but it's a win. It was in regulation. Yeah, it was ugly than Cinderella's stepsisters, but fine. We'll still take it.
But hey, like it's nice to get that, like to feel that offensive juice and to like have all those goals in a time where the offense has, let's say, not been very offensive-y.
Yeah. Yeah. We need them to be as offensive as a 5-minute Kevin Hart set, and they haven't been. But yeah, like I agree that you need something like this to jumpstart them. I hear you. You on the other side of the earbuds, the speakers, what have you. It was the Flames. They're dog crap. Of course, they're going to get 7 goals on. Yeah, okay, fine, but still,
Right.
even though it was an easy target, you still want, you still love to see this kind of thing because it gives them confidence, especially guys like McMichael who haven't been doing the job lately, getting 2 goals. You love to see that. And Leonard and Sordiff and all guys that have been kind of quiet lately that
Yeah.
we need to step up. So yeah, you love to see it. And as I said on Sports on the Hill, not good for the cardiovascular system, maybe, but
No.
good for the standings points. So we'll take it. So I was off to the road for them in the middle of the week. So Wednesday, the 11th, we go up to Philly. And yeah, this one, oh boy. I, I I've said it before. I don't mean it, but I couldn't mean it anymore. Caps came out in this one flatter than month-old champagne. Um, yeah, wow. It just I don't know. I don't know what happened. This is an I don't know what happened type of game. They knew what was in front of them. Philly is one of the teams that they are battling for one of the last wild card spots. They knew what was in front of them. They knew what they had to do, and they just, for whatever reason, could not get it done. It's stop me if you heard this before. It started well. Caps got a power play. About 8.5 minutes in, Ryan Leonard picking up where he left off, his 13th with the power play goal. Play Freebird, Ovechkin, and Dubois. The helpers on that one, 9:51, the time of that goal. That would be all for the first period, and that would also be all for the Caps offensively. It was just, I don't know. I didn't see a whole lot of going to the net.
I mean, honestly, there was not a lot of going to the net on either side. We had 23 shots that whole game, and Philly only had 22. So it was not. That was definitely one of LT's. I don't know. Let's see. It was not a great save percentage for him, but that said, like it wasn't. I don't think it wasn't that he was playing poorly. It was just that there was no defense, no life. Like he wasn't getting any help.
No. And I think I hate to put it this way, but I think also Philly had a little bit more puck luck going for them.
Oh yeah.
It looked like.
Oh yes.
So it was just one of those games where that was happening, and it just didn't work out. And I don't know. I wish there was a little bit more effort offensively, and I would have been fine with the loss if it were closer, but yeah, it just wasn't.
Agreed. Agreed. I hate a loss when there's no life and no heart. Like at least when they're fighting for it, I don't feel as like bereft when we lose. This was just like
Good word.
this was the one, especially, I mean, knowing that we had a back-to-back the next day, I was like, this looked like the tail end of a back-to-back, not
Yeah.
the first game.
Oh yeah. So let's go ahead and dispense with the rest of the bad news. Travis Konechny, his 24th, Sanheim, the Olympian, and Oh, this is an appropriate name for a hockey player. Bump is his last name. I think that was his first National Hockey League point with the secondary assist. That was at 4:23 of the second. 8 minutes later, Trevor Zegras, his 22nd. Owen Tippett and Carl Grundstrom, the helpers on that one. That would be the game winner. Third period, it would not get any better. Jamie Drysdale left all alone in front of the net. Noah Cates and Cam York, the helpers, at 7:17 in the third. And Ronald McDonald, Owen Tippett would get the empty netter at 18:57. No, you don't get nuggets with that one. Dvorak and Cates, the helpers there. And thus endeth the game. The power play worked. It kind of funny because that was the only thing good you could say about this game. That the power play was 1 for 3. Other than that, it just the shots that they did get, not I would call very few of them I would call high danger.
Yeah.
I didn't look at natural stat trick for the official numbers, but I would not call any of them of that category. Now, I hope you that are listening have been paying attention to our Facebook page, where I have been dutifully posting the hockey scorecards at the end of each game. So I am looking up the one for the Flyers, and the highest score was from Alex Ovechkin, who scored a 107. The lowest score was Jacob Chikrin. Keep an eye on that trend, because it used to be, once upon a time, it was so goes Ovechkin, so go the Capitals. And now it's when Chikrin has a good game, they have a good game. When he don't have a good game, well, it usually doesn't end well. That's just one example, but yeah, keep an eye on that trend once those are posted. And so you will notice that the forwards are all listed first in order of highest to lowest score, and the defensemen have their own section at the bottom, also lowest listed from highest to lowest score. And there's a key down at the bottom. They're letter graded too, so A, B, C, D, F. F, of course, F grades awarded to the lowest negative score, so you can score in the negative, meaning you did absolute crap defensively and offensively as a sum total. So that's how these scorecards work. It's the simplest explanation I have. Hopefully you get an eyeful of those, and I'm posting those so that everybody has a better idea of who's playing well in general and who's not.
It's I enjoy looking at these too, because sometimes it's surprising. Most of the time it's not. But I think especially with the defense, sometimes you're like, oh, because you don't necessarily notice you notice when the defense screws up. It's not always as noticeable when they do well, unless you know what you're looking for. And so I find it interesting sometimes how these things stack out when you're like, oh, okay, he was quiet, I didn't notice him, but he had a really good game. Whereas like Chikrin, you always notice one way or the other. And like when he's good, he's so good. And then some days you're like, is there butter on your stick? Like, what is happening?
Too true. Too true.
It's so like it's never middle of the road. It's like really great, which is luckily most of the time. But those bad games, man, they're noticeable.
They are, and unfortunately, some of those are coming at the worst time possible. But again, this is why I'm posting them, so that it's never. Fortunately, it's never the same guy for too long. But
right.
It's key moments, and those count for more. So this is for when I'm a big believer in the eye test. So this is when the eye test kind of doesn't tell the whole story. This kind of a thing does. The scorecards. So again, I highly recommend studying those after you've seen the game. Okay, so on to the second half of the back-to-back. Thursday the 12th, up to Buffalo. And if you were like me, you weren't very optimistic about it. You had this as a scheduled loss because Buffalo's Sabres were hotter than their hot wings, winning something like 8 or 9 out of their last 11. And yeah, I didn't like our chances because we don't play against them very well anyway. But last week I joked that, well, maybe, just maybe, now that they're good, we'll live in Bizarro World. And the Caps will win something like 9-2. Well, it wasn't 9-2, but it was surprisingly a win.
Yeah.
Now, the exact opposite was what we got at the beginning. Not exactly the greatest of starts. Sam Carrick opens the scoring at 6:02, tips it in past Charlie Lindgren. Our old friend, ex-Cap Beck Malenstein with the primary assist, Owen Power with the secondary to put the Sabres up on top. And you just had a feeling that was, even though there were no more goals in the first, that was pretty much going to be it, because Caps ended up spending a lot of time fending off the Sabres attack. And before I forget, I don't think Charlie Lindgren got enough credit for what he did in this game.
Oh my goodness. The reason we survived to have a chance after period 1, the end of that game, I've rewatched their power play where it was like shot. I mean, that he was tracking that aggressively that long was phenomenal. And I think that gave the team so much life at the end of period 1 into period 2.
Yeah. So let's, speaking of the shots, let's look at the shot per period count. Look, Sabres got 15. That's right, 15. And 5 of them, I believe, were courtesy of Tage Thompson. All 5 back to back on that power play. All 5 bombs. I think one of them might have been blocked. Feel sorry for that guy, whoever got in the way of that one. But that one goal by Carrick was the only one Charlie would let get past him. Thank God. Stopping the likes of Thompson et al. Throughout this game. And yeah, he easily his best game of the year. And they needed it. But yeah, 14 out of 15 in the third period. They would get 10 in the next period. And somehow the Caps would shut them down to just 5 in the third. And you knew that's what it would take, is if they could turn it around and not let them get their chances and just turn it around on them and get more on them. 2:14 into the second, Caps would tie it. Ryan Leonard, his 14th, no helpers on this one. Was there something special? I want to say there was. It was just him. Was this him going from the red line to blue line and skating it in? I want to say it was. Okay, so I'm picking up the replay. Yes, so Ryan makes the pick at the blue line, skates it all the way through, and flips it in past Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen for the goal. Beautiful shot to tie it. Yeah, my one criticism about Ryan Leonard, he's got a terrific shot. He just needs to get it more on net.
Yeah.
Because if he can get his shot has enough force on it, so that if it hits a pad or a stick, and as long as it doesn't go into the glove or into the midsection of the goalie, it will cause a rebound. And goalies have to play him so square that there's a good chance that that rebound is going to be the juicy kind where somebody trailing or on the wing will have plenty of open net to possibly shoot at. So if he could keep them low and not 3 feet over the net sometimes, as he is sometimes prone to doing,
Yeah.
like to see a little bit more of that. But when he does hit the net, plenty of times it does go in. This was one of them. So 2:14 in, game is tied, and then it was a game of cat and mouse both ways. This was I don't know. You're a purist like me. You kind of enjoy these back and forths where each team got their chances, and then the defense would do what they needed to do. It's a combination of that and the goalie doing what they needed to do. Kind of fun to watch because since it was a tie game, it's like, okay, who would get the next one? It was a next goal wins type of situation, and it really was.
Yeah.
And we had to wait all the way until 1827 into the final period. Jacob Chikrin, his 23rd, Protas and Van Riemsdyk, the helpers on that one, setting him up with the Ovi-like shot from the right circle past UPL for the game winner. And game, set, match caps and 2 points in regulation that they desperately needed. This had to have given them a buttload of confidence afterwards, taking down easily one of the best teams in the league for the last month and a half.
Right. And can we just say how lovely it is to be on the side of breaking another team's winning streak instead of breaking their losing streak? It was just very happy.
I don't think anybody saw it, but I posted on Twitter that the hashtag all caps. I quoted a tweet where, Buffalo was 9-1-1 since X date, and I quoted it and I said, yeah, and the all caps were the one in the middle of that record.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was kind of fun beating a hot team.
Yeah. Especially the tail end of a back-to-back where we all just assumed we were going to lose that game, especially after how poorly we played the night before, how hot the Sabres have been. And I'm like, I love a close game. I love a back and forth game. Now they're a lot more fun and less cardiac arresty when it's a game I have no skin in. So
Right.
I love watching two teams where I don't care who the winner is when it's back and forth. It's always a little more like, heart gasping when it's the Caps. But I love a close game. It's more exciting. Your juices get flowing. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't all have to be blowouts. They don't all have to be 6-5 games.
Right. But
They
let
can
me tell
be.
you, I was holding my breath after Chicky scored that last 93 seconds. That's the worst kind of torture where you're like,
Yeah.
you're only up by one, please don't score again. And you're just holding your breath as long as you can.
Yeah, I was so especially when Buffalo pulled their goalie.
Yes.
I was so waiting for a late 6-on-5 goal. It's like, okay, this has been their luck. Here we go. It's going to go to overtime because they're going to get a late goal because their defense let Charlie down again late, because that's just how it's been. And I couldn't have been prouder that they didn't do that. They didn't get the empty netter, but okay, fine. They still came out with the win. Couldn't have been prouder of their overall effort at both ends of this game. Uh, yeah, they are one, and they don't have to. Here's why the Sabres have been dangerous. They don't have to beat you with their offense anymore. They're doing it with the defense too.
Yeah.
They've held a lot of good teams to 2 or less goals in that
Yep.
streak.
But
Uh,
I feel like they went in expecting this to be an easy win because of how the Caps have been playing, and you could feel their frustration as we got
yes,
deeper into the game. You could feel the frustration at the adversity that they were not expecting.
yes, they looked like those last 5 minutes, especially. They looked like a team that had been goalied,
Yes.
and that was mounting. And trust me, I know what that looks like. A lot of us know what that looks like. Um, and it hit the Sabres, and then assuming they do, you got to assume they make the playoffs. They might be a little prone to that, so they might
Yeah.
be. Unfortunately, they might be a good bet for a first round exit because of that. Not to cast aspersions, but uh, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm secretly I'm kind of rooting for them because no fan base should, unless it's a New York City team, should go through that
Right?
a ridiculously long drought of not even getting to the dance. But yeah, we'll see how they do. But yeah, it was nice to get the win, much needed. 2-1 for the week so far. So last game of the week, back home at good old Cap
Oh,
One.
real quick.
Sure.
Going back to your game score breakdown, like you were mentioning earlier, looking at the one for that game, guess what defenseman has a 2.63 an A score in that game? Chicky.
Oh yes, you are correct. And as was pointed out, when he does well, so tends to be, so does the team.
Yes.
He actually led the entire team
Yeah.
with that score of 263. Surprisingly, right behind him, Trevor Van Riemsdyk. Like, okay, we'll take a
Yeah.
good game from anybody. Um, uh, Alexei Protas, and I pointed this out when I posted it, had kind of literally a yin yang game.
Yes.
Um, good on offense, not so good on defense. Worst defensive rating with a -1.5, but provided enough offensive activity to, for the most part, balance that out. Fourth highest score among forwards. He's another one we kind of need to get back to the game he was having last year for
Yeah.
them to have some success. And now that they're putting him on the power play, that might be, something where he jump starts. I get that. I get that you don't want to wear him out, and they rely on him for the PK because of his the way he plays and his reach. I get that, but yeah, I think he could do just as well on the power play, because what is part of the power play? You got to keep the puck, not just shoot it, but you got to hang on to the puck. And yeah, power play's been having a bit of trouble doing that.
Yeah.
So good to see him there. So on to the last game of the week, and that was yesterday afternoon back home at good old Cap One against the lovely Boston Bruins. Another matinee, another national televised game, but at least this one wasn't off a long break, so there wasn't that trifecta of really bad juju. And speaking of juju, yes, I brought out the reverse food theme jinx back on during the Buffalo game. Um, and it worked. So I figured do the Boston cream pie for this one. So hope you enjoyed the picture of that. I paid for the hot wings. I think still as of right now, it hurts a little bit to talk because I kind of have a sore in the back of my mouth, but very much worth it. If that kind of thing is needed. But yeah, I did the Boston cream pie. Oh, a quick funny story. Funny story about the wings. I I had I had it delivered, and of course it was a little bit cold. I swear, my right hand to God, I swear, 30 seconds after I pulled them out of the microwave, had the first one in my hand, was about to put it in my mouth, was when Ryan Leonard scored. Like, okay, uh, snack of or meal of destiny here, something. Win by snack, something. Something. The hockey gods are with us. And they were. So okay, let's keep this going. So I did the Boston cream pie, and unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Um, I don't really want to talk about this game because I cannot stand the way it ended. Um, I'm just going to improvise. I'm going to talk about what happened during the actual hockey portion of the game. Okay, so Matt Roy opens the scoring in the second period. No score in the first. Second period, 1:15 in. Matt Roy with bit of a fluky shot past Swayman. I don't know if he just lost it or it just changed direction on him. Didn't look like it hit anybody in front. But Matt Roy loops a slapper past him for his second of the year. Rasmus Sandin. Now we'll talk about him more in a few minutes. Rasmus Sandin, his 20th assist on the primary. Hendrix Lapierre hits double-digit assists on the secondary. Here, great to see those guys activating. So Caps take a 1-0 lead, but unfortunately they couldn't hold on to it. 10.5 minutes later, Charlie McAvoy. You're going to get tired of me hearing or saying this name. Pasternak, his 55th assist, 11:57. So we go into the third tied. Rasmus Sandin, 3:12 in, puts the Caps up. No helpers there. Nice slapper at 3:12. Caps couldn't hold on to this one either. McAvoy again, his ninth. Pavel Zacha and Victor Arvidsson, the helpers at 10:09. And as bad as we needed to go to for this to not go to overtime, so to overtime we would go, which would mean that this team in front of us that we desperately need to pass would get a loser point. Thank you, Mr. Evil Dumb Head Fun Size Weasel Commissioner, for instituting that rule, among others. Overtime wasn't enough, so it went in the skills competition. I'm not going to break that down because to do so would be to glorify what happened. We all saw it, and okay, yeah, I'll admit it. Yeah, it was. Well, it wasn't fun to watch, honestly, because, well, everybody knows how I feel about it. It wasn't fun to watch, but yes, there was an element of excitement, but excitement in terms of maybe watching your pet choke on something and hoping they bring it up type of excitement. Not that I'm a fan of that kind of thing. Negative excitement, I guess, is the phrase I'm looking for. Because, yeah, I'm sorry, no game should ever have to end like this. And yeah, if you watched it, it resembled an old-fashioned, the sound of an old-fashioned fire station sounding the alarm, because there was a lot of clanging going on of people hitting posts. But no, it didn't come out in our favor. And I will just say this: I've never been more ashamed to be a hockey fan to watch something like that unfold and have an otherwise great game that was played by both teams end just like that. I thought it was humiliating and just a ridiculous way to end the game because I think the fans deserve better. I think the teams deserved a lot better, and I'll leave it at that because if I say any more, I, I'm going to be at my computer all night bleeping half of what I say. So, Jini, what did you think of the game?
Other than the shootout, I wasn't mad at it. We played with heart. We were out there like I did have to laugh that outside of the shootout goal, every single goal was scored by a defenseman. And yeah, definitely was overhearing McAvoy. I was like, he has too many goals. Him scoring is boring. Whereas like Sandin and Roy, like Sandin's fourth and Roy's second. Yeah, Sandin's fourth. Like, it's exciting and it's nice to see them. Sandin, man, what a game. That
Well,
was
so
and
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no. So Sandin frustrates me sometimes because he has games like this, and then he has games where I'm like, what are you doing, buddy? And this was lovely to see because like I'm like, okay, can you just do this more often?
Well, see, and that's the thing I was getting to. The "What are you doing, buddy?" type of games have been a lot less,
Yes.
and
That is very true.
this type of game has been a lot more.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a coincidence that um a lot of these games have been after the trade deadline, where John Carlson went the other way and well, they started looking at Raz and giving him a little bit more responsibility and trusting him a little bit more. And he's been blossoming while, unfortunately, the stupid forwards aren't picking up their end of the bargain. But guys like Sandin are picking up the slack, making better decisions with the puck, moving the puck when it needs to be moved,
Yeah.
whether in the defensive zone or uh, on the cycle at the other end. And I I can't help but be optimistic about what he and Timothy Liljegren can do
Yes.
together.
Yes. I especially as you know, have watched a bunch of Sharks games this year. And Liljegren is someone who I have noticed off and on throughout the year. As now, he's definitely been inconsistent, but there have been multiple Sharks games where I'm like, okay, when he's on, he has done some great things. So I definitely since he's played with Sandin before and since Carbs has coached him before, um, I feel like of course I want to see more, but like I could see this turning into something great.
Now, I will admit when I first heard of the trade, I was like, okay, you know what? Chris Patrick just went out and got what in effect is a really cheap imitation of John Carlson. So I didn't have a whole lot of expectations, even though I'd also read where him and Sandin have teamed up in Toronto, and
Yeah.
they were at some point considered a cheat code in among themselves. It just never panned out, mainly because the powers that be in Toronto don't know what they're doing. Big surprise. But so I was but I was still skeptical because it just looked like okay, well you subtracted and then you added kind of in a scaled down way just so it was at least looking like we were competitive and that.
Right.
But I like what I've seen so far. I think Lil Jagrin is fitting in very nicely. I don't. I think it's going to take some more time, but I
Oh
think
yeah.
eventually he could be a long-term piece for the Caps should he decide to stay and take on a reasonable salary. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Um, he's a right-handed defenseman, so he fills that hole left by Carlson. So
So I
yeah,
have to say one thing that was driving me absolutely nuts during the Boston game was that the commentators kept pronouncing his name wrong, and they pronounced it like 12 different ways. I'm like, they kept saying Lilligren, Lilgren. I'm like, there's a J there, and you said it once. You said it right once. So why do you keep? I don't know. That was driving me nuts.
well, that's the magic. That's the even though it sucked ass half the time because they kept losing the feed. But that's the magic of having the NHL app and the listen option so that you could get the Caps
Yeah.
radio feed featuring the one and only John Walton, Big John Walton, and Ken Saber and Kate Florio, who always bring it. So I highly recommend listening to them when it's a national game because ABC/ESPN are always going to fuck it up. Case in point.
Yeah.
So, um, so that was a joy while it worked anyway. But yeah, look, I get it. At times, if you go by the deserve to win-o-meter, Caps were a little lacking, but overall the effort was there.
Yeah.
Like you said, Jini, they played to win. They were trying to win. They knew they had to come up with the regulation 2 points, and even in overtime, they were playing like they were trying to end it right then and there.
I did find it so funny that we never got to 3-on-3 in overtime because of starting it on, starting it on the PK and then of course just never getting a stoppage. I was like, this doesn't it didn't even, I mean, obviously it felt different with 4-on-4, but it didn't fully feel like overtime. It was interesting. I mean, I wasn't mad at it, but it was just, I was like, wow, we did not have a single stoppage and we never got to 3-on-3.
And neither team looked really bad once it got to
No,
4-on-4. So
no,
I kind of like the idea of 10 minutes of 4-on-4.
right.
Just
And
to,
it's, I mean, I understand, of course, I understand having different rules in playoffs versus regular season, in terms of how long the overtime goes and, how many overtime periods. I understand the intent of the shootout. I don't like it anymore. I understand the intent of it, especially considering, I mean, we have a ton of games. They're trying to theoretically not overtire them out. Like, I get it. I don't like it. I think we need a different solution. But yeah, I would not have minded. I would not have been at all mad at a longer overtime period because that was, the 4-on-4 was interesting and both teams were in it. It was a very even game.
it was most definitely an even game, and as frustrating as what was going on in regulation, again, just to have it end like that. Okay, yeah, again, I get it. Caps
Yeah.
had their chances. They
Yeah.
had 2 power plays at the end. And
Yeah.
if the power play wasn't complete ass, then yes. Pardon me. Then yes,
If any of our forwards had found some offense.
something from them.
Yeah.
to put it away, but there was no. It's like
I was really, really, really hoping for something for a Leno goal at the end of the third period, just because, like, you know, he had points in the last 5 games, and then he had 3 games in a row where he scored. So I was like, oh, come on, stretch that streak, give us one more game with a goal.
him or sort of, one of those
Yes,
guys that the younger guys that have been hungry.
yes,
And the one thing I noticed about Leonard, other than his skill, was his attitude. And I'm hoping this game, I'm hoping he is as pissed off as I was to lose this way. Because the
yeah,
one thing I noticed while he was playing in college, he hates to lose. And
right,
to lose this way in a fucking gimmick has to eat at him.
yeah,
And when you got a guy like that hates to lose,
yeah.
that kind of that usually translates into good things for
Yeah.
that person and their team. So
Well, and just, I mean, the number of posts that were hit in that shootout, the number of
uh,
times where it looked like it had gone in and then somehow weirdly bounced out, or like, that was just, it's like insult to injury. You're like, how is this? It was, yeah, yeah,
and yeah, well, I'm going to throw this in. We're running out of time, but I wanted to throw this in. Just the whole puck over glass thing. Um, And it might have been from a few years ago, but I saw a Reddit post where, okay, you know what? Don't treat the damn thing like it's a penalty. Treat it like it's a violation, like icing. Like whoever does it, face off at the other end, face off in their end. Whoever does it,
right,
just absolve the refs because they obviously didn't want to call the penalty, because
right,
that would mean the other team would challenge it, and there would be a lengthy review, and even if there was the tiniest shred of evidence that it would overturn, it would make the refs look bad. So again, they'd be chicken about it. So they're not going to call it. Then why even have it be a penalty then? So since they're being all kinds of nasty words. I'm censoring myself here. Since they're being afraid of doing their jobs, make it a violation. Just put the face off in their end, whoever does it, and just
yeah,
leave it at that. And that way, we don't have this garbage where they don't call it. Well, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Oh, okay. It
right.
didn't happen.
Well, and especially because, like, in terms of the consequence, in terms of quote unquote delaying the game, how is it any how does it delay the game any more if it goes over the glass than to ice it? Like, it's the same, you know what I mean? Like, you end up
Yeah.
resetting anyways. So that's, I hate that penalty. Like, it's one of those, like, okay, I get why it's there, but I hate it. And
Well,
it just, yeah.
it's
It's a frustrating one.
it's just like the purpose of 3-on-3 overtime. The
Yeah.
spirit of the rule no longer applies, because
Yes.
when they came up with that rule, a lot of players were taking advantage of, got to relieve the pressure, got to get a change. We'll just throw it out of the rink.
Right.
And that happened. That actually happened a lot. Used to happen a
Yeah.
lot in the 80s.
Yeah.
And so they came up with that rule to stop it. And
Right.
that's why. And now all it is just every time it happens, you got to rely on the cameras that are, oh, did it actually go out? Did it deflect? Did it hit
Yeah.
something? Did it? And I'll
And that's,
my
yeah.
final verdict, it did not. It went out clean. And I'll leave it at that.
They did show one replay where it looked like it slightly went off the boards but I don't know. I just, I don't know. I don't like that whole thing. I also, I hate technicalities. Like, offsides is another one. I hate that you can rewind the tape 30 freaking seconds to challenge an offsides goal when like there should be like a 10-second limit or a whatever, however many number of puck touches. There needs to be something where like if you score and it wasn't a result of offsides, like if you've been in the zone for 30 seconds, that goal is not a result of offsides. So things like that where you're relying on a technicality to win, that just things like that irk me so much.
I totally get that. Unfortunately, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here. The flip side of that is that play, that goal never would have happened even after 30 seconds had the offside been called at that time. That is
Right.
the biggest argument for that rule. But you're right.
And I get it, but it's also just like the whole point of the offsides rule is to not allow cherry picking.
Yeah.
It's one of those like, and I get, and both everything, teams have been on both sides of like that, and it's little things like that just drive me crazy. But it's also partially because, okay, 30 seconds you've played, now you spend 10 minutes reviewing the tape, then you have to go back. It just adds so much time to the game that's like unnecessary and piddly.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's picky. It's bullshit.
Yes. Yes.
It's
So it's little things like that just always bother me because it's like let's just play the game.
yeah.
But yeah, that was a random rant from a different game I was watching yesterday, but
Totally get it.
it just bled in and I couldn't help myself.
No, that's fine. But it's another example of I think how the spirit of the rule just doesn't
Yes.
it doesn't apply anymore. It doesn't,
Yes.
3-on-3 was meant to
Exactly.
be an exciting way to end the game early and not have overtime go very long.
Right.
And be a little bit more entertaining. I get that it's a gimmick, but at least it's hockey action and not the shootout.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Agreed.
but I'll stop there with that. Okay, so yeah, we're coming to the end here, but I don't know, just quick evaluation. It doesn't look good for our Caps. They have ever so slightly less chance. They are officially right now 6 points out of the last wild card spot. And take a look at the standings, taking a further look, they are 7 points out of the third place spot for the Metro, which also gives an automatic qualification for the playoffs. So
I have to say I hate being on this side of the games in hand
yeah,
game. And the last quite a few years we have always had fewer games played, and I hate being on the other side of it. It's just very annoying.
yeah, and that's another beef I have with the league office and Darth Vader commissioner and his incompetent band of stormtrooper stooges. Just always seems like Caps get the pole up the asshole in terms of scheduling, conveniently enough, but that's another rant for another day. So that's where the Caps are standings wise. So very little chance, but still a chance. So you're saying there's a chance? There is, very small one. And so the scheduling is a bit kinder as far as getting back rest. Now, another long break here, 3 days worth, counting today. So all the way through St. Patty's Day, They're on break, and they continue the rest of the homestand on Wednesday against the Ottawa Senators. That is a 7:30 puck drop at Cap One. They play them. That's yet another team that they're battling playoff positioning for. So, yeah, definitely need to not give up the loser point there. On to Friday, 7 o'clock game against the New Jersey Devils. Third of the 4-game homestand. That's Friday night, the 20th. And then the homestand ends Saturday afternoon, 12:30 against the league leading.
Sunday afternoon.
Sunday. I'm sorry. Sunday. I said Saturday. I meant to say Sunday, the 22nd, against the Colorado Avalanche, league leading Colorado Avalanche. And yeah, I think we can all agree that's probably going to be a scheduled loss.
I mean, hey, let's just hope it's the same kind of scheduled loss as we played against Buffalo.
I was just about to say the same thing. Maybe just maybe Colorado just decides to take the day off and
right. We can hope. But I'm going in thinking it's just going to be a loss, because then it's just less devastating.
So I'm not quite sure when we will record next. It'll either be sometime Saturday the 21st or late afternoon / evening after the Colorado game on Sunday the 22nd. I haven't decided yet. It will depend upon availability. I'm not sure what Anna's schedule's looking like just yet. So Jini, I will. It's very likely we'll need your eyes and ears and observations again.
I will be around, so just let me know.
Excellent. So those are the next 3 games coming up, and yeah, I think 2 of them are very winnable. I think that'll keep the Caps in it, but yeah, I don't think they can afford too many more losses unless they're in they're after regulation. But fortunately, a lot of these games coming up seem winnable, so I think they'll stay in it at least for the duration. But as we get towards April, it's going to get pretty tight. So need to start banking the points here. Something in the 85 range by the middle of next week would be very, very nice to see. Okay, so I think we're going to stop it here. A little bit long, but 4 games to cover and a lot happening during those 4 games. So we're going to be hopefully a little more bang for your buck, even though nobody's paying for this. So, but yeah, we're always here for you and giving you our quality version of what we saw.
And hopefully next week we'll be able to all kinds of raving about Hudson and how excited we are to have seen him.
Yes, great preview there, and yes, excited to see what he can do and what this lineup can do with him, and see what they can pull out these next few games, especially after getting a bit of rest, because I'm sure they're a little dinged up from some of these really hard-fought games. So, all right, for Miss Jin-dependent, Jini Clausen, this is the Blue Liner on Point, signing off and reminding you that, well, a recent conversation that a teacher I once knew, kind of went like this. It being marking period time. You teachers out there, Anna, hope you're listening. Just going to reveal a little funny conversation that I once heard. A student says, "How can I bring up my grade?" And the teacher says, "Spell the word way." Student responds, W-A-Y. The teacher says, "Well, you forgot a letter. You forgot the F." The student says, "Wait a minute. There's no F in way." And the teacher says, "Bingo."
Okay, I like that one.
Hallelujah, and let's go Caps.
Let's go Caps.
This has been another episode of the Power Play Point podcast. All episodes are available from Apple Podcasts, the Podbean app, blueliner77.podbean.com, and now available from Stitcher. Music by Joe McAllister, voiceover by Jeffrey Conkle.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Power Play Point Podcast. Thanks for listening.
I know I don't know shit, and I'm just a spectator. But I talk like I know, and I pretend like I know. Rush the net and shoot the fucking puck.